Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show, coming to you live from our Kingmakers studio here in beautiful Midtown Tampa. I am your quite mediocre host, JP Peterson, along with my friend, a colleague from our DFW affiliate of FanStream Sports, Dallas, the great IndyCar, Tim. What's up, brother? How are you?
What is happening, sports? I'm still recovering from the weekend, JP. I know you guys got all your college football talk in yesterday, but man, I am full of it today.
Hey, we can revisit. You know what? You think I don't want to keep talking about FSU bullying Alabama? Bullying him.
I was going to ask if we're going to continue to talk about Alabama today, but I guess we are. Talk about FSU.
Well, now, of course, Dan Orlovsky went on there. So I counted 25 lopes on Alabama. It's all about how bad Alabama is. It's nothing to do about how FSU turned it around. Because, of course, that's the ESPN storyline. You cannot praise FSU whatsoever. So away we go. But
absolutely,
I think we realize, people actually are football fans and not and are objective about it. Realize that Florida State did a hell of a turnaround. And Mike Norvell deserves great credit. I'm not, putting him in the playoff conversation just yet. But you go around and bully Alabama like that has more 5 stars than any team in college football. Well, I think you got to take a little bit of credit for that if you're FSU. And
you were all worried going into this weekend.
I was.
About Tommy Castanos and his quote.
Yes.
They don't have Nick Saban to save them. I don't see them stopping me.
What the hell are you talking about, young man?
What did I say? I said if he backs it up.
Said you did. And he backed it up. He said, shut the F up, JP. I'm going to go out there and back it up. Okay. You did. And I love it. Thank you, Lord. I love to be wrong in situations like this.
That kid was.
He went out and backed it up, and they played with swagger. They played with physicality. The defense was just like USF. Like, where the hell did this come from? Where the hell did this physicality, this run and hit mentality come from? Well, you change the players, you change the attitude, you change the coaches. Great things can happen. We all talk poorly about, the transfer portal, how we all hate it, right? But the bottom line is it could take you from 2-10 to pretty damn good in a hurry. And that's what Mike Norvell did. And he's used the portal well, and he's used it not so well. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be a narrative moving forward that we need to understand, is that it's not like the old days when Alabama or Florida State finishes in the top 5, 14 years in a row, which will never be approached. It's not that's not going to happen anymore because of the turnover. You're going to have, like the NFL, at least 25 to 30% turnover on your rosters each and every year. That makes you a different team each and every year. So consistency becomes much more difficult.
Right.
And especially now the coaches are going to be zipping in and out as well. Because I got news for you. Alabama has no patience for Kalen DeBoer. None. And he is going to be fired probably in the next few weeks.
Oh.
And that is going to be a massive mistake. It will be a massive mistake by Alabama. And I'm not saying I know Kalen DeBoer is the guy. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, there's some evidence to suggest he's not. But also, there will be no more Nick Sabans. I'm sorry. Those days are over, Alabama. And the fact that you've been sitting on this high hog for 20 years, almost 20 years, and you think that it's about you. It's not about you, redneck Bama boy. Sorry, it's not about you. It's about Nick Saban. He was the best. And there won't, dare I say that, better than Bobby Bowden. Different errors, okay? So they were both great in their own way. None greater than Bobby, just in the total picture, as you take the human being into account as well, where Nick Saban is grossly deficient. But listen, there's not going to be that type of dominance, and Alabama's going to keep searching for it for the next 4 or 5 coaching cycles, and they're not going to find it. At some point, they're going to have to realize you're never going to have another run like that. Much like FSU has to realize we're never going to have another 14 straight years of top 5. That's just not the way it's going to go. So you have to have guys that can build teams instantly, create some culture, and go out and win games. Norvell has proven to do that in 2 seasons, a 10-win and a 13-win season back-to-back. 2-10 was a disaster, and he has to be accountable for that. But hopefully he learned a lot of different things in that equation. That you've got to recruit better leaders. You've got to recruit not just good football players or what you think are good football players. You have to have a leadership schedule. You have to have less turnover. I think Dabo Swinney is more on the right track than everybody else. You need to dabble in the transfer portal, not depend on it. I mean, we're learning these lessons as these years go by because it's totally different. And I think that's where we're going to settle on this if the rules stay relatively the same. That the teams, I think the average team in the Final Four last year had 7 transfers. The average is around 7, so much lower than the volatility that you've seen at Florida State. And I think that moving forward, it's going to be build through high school recruiting because that's where you get the best players, like the quote first round picks, right? You definitely have to dabble in the transfer portal, no question about that. But to build culture and unity, which I think is so important in college football, you got to have some consistency from year to year and leadership consistency. And that comes from developing a culture through high school recruiting, in my opinion.
Sure.
So I don't think the Deion Sanders, I'm not going to high school recruit, I'm just going to transfer a portal every year. I don't think that's a recipe for consistent success.
Well, you don't build any loyalty that way either, for sure.
You build zero loyalty.
Yeah.
And something that you saw last year, guys don't give a shit about tradition. They don't care about, there's 18 Hall of Famers on the sideline today glaring at us that we shouldn't, be 2-10 like last year. Those kids, they couldn't care less about what the Seminole tradition was. They couldn't care less.
Yeah.
And so when you lose that identity and you lose that culture, then what are you playing for? What are you playing for? You got to have, to me, the most successful college football programs, and Alabama is a great example of this. You have to play for something more. It's got to be bigger than just an NIL paycheck. If you've got to have that team chemistry. And I thought Ohio State really showed that last year, big time. How they came together as a group, and a lot of it was around kind of a Christian rebirth. Mm-hmm. It was a very spiritual thing, but it was tangible. It was very tangible how those guys came together as one, and it's cool to watch. And I can go ahead and make a nice professional segue to the Buccaneers. They have that vibe. These guys are playing for something more than just themselves and a contract, Micah Parsons. They're playing for something more. It's a togetherness. This is why I knew the Bucs would never be in on that. Because if you bring in Micah Parsons, sure, you're bringing in a really good player that's at a need position. In terms of edge, you'd probably have to trade Yaya or Vita Vea away, and 2 first-round picks. And then you have to go pay him top dollar. And look Mike Evans in the eye and go, yeah, we need you to take less money again. Baker, we need you to take less money again. Gedeke, you got to get on board and take less money. Well, it doesn't work. It tears your whole culture apart.
Well, especially along those lines, and this is all purely hypothetical, but say the Bucs traded for Micah Parsons, and I'm not done with college football yet, by the way. I'm not done with the Knowles. But if you trade for Micah Parsons, if you're the Bucs and you trade for Micah Parsons, you give up whatever, Vita Vea, a couple of first-round picks, now you're asking guys to take less money. Those guys know why they're taking less. They're being asked to take less money, and if they know it's because of Micah Parsons, who, by the way, isn't a great locker room guy, who a lot of the Cowboys players, and this is all coming out now, didn't like, that just causes more issues, right?
Exactly.
It's different if it's, hey, Baker, can you take a little less money? We're trying to keep Mike Evans here, right?
Right.
Like,
he's one of ours. He's one of ours.
But man, look, we're signing Micah Parsons. We need you to take less money.
Yeah.
No. Hell no.
No.
So it's a whole thing. I mean, it's a real thing. And again, I couldn't be happier that he's gone from the Cowboys. All right.
Yeah, and you were 100% right on that. You may end up being 100% right on Luka as well, which not the NBA made that nice little Cooper Flag adjustment. But
Cooper Flag is already right now a better NBA player than Luka Doncic will ever be. Sorry, now I'm done with Mavericks talk.
Wow, it's a bold statement.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to college football and that continuity, and that wins at every level, at any level. So I think Florida State's still trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. But what you saw on the field was leadership from Tommy Castanos. Yeah. That was real leadership, and this is a guy very much like Baker Mayfield, and I was completely wrong about this when he went out and started talking. Nick Saban's not going to save you. You can't stop me. I was like very upset. You can't. Yeah. You gotta. I've seen plenty of Florida State players come through here and mouth off and not back it up. We've been through this. Dancing with your red backpacks and all this stupid shit. And you don't back it up. I'm tired of that. And I was very wary that, oh, God, here we go again. You got to be able to back it up. And it is only one win. It's a huge win. It's a huge win. But it is only one. So they've got to continue to back it up. But what I like about this is you can get a sense in talking to people. I talked to a bunch of people up there this weekend that are very inside the program. And one of the things they talk about Castellanos like we talk about Baker Mayfield. Like these guys will run through a wall for him. He is the leader. He's their unquestioned leader. They had him breaking the rock with the sledgehammer, all that stuff. You need that in football. You got to have that guy. The Bucs were best when they had Tom Brady leading that thing. Yeah. Brad Johnson was that kind of leader. They loved the Bull. The Bull would work out with them, the offensive linemen. They to a man, they loved the Bull because he was a tough son of a bitch and he worked his ass off. He was a blue collar guy. Same for Baker Mayfield. Same for Tommy Castellanos. He's not a 5-star. He's a gritty little 3-star, 2-star, 5'11", not back down kind of guy. And I love that guy. I love that kind of guy. I didn't know who Tommy Castellanos was. I didn't know what he was. I knew he kicked our ass when we tried to play against Boston College.
Right.
And he seemed like, a tough kid and knew how to run and make plays. But that was a signature moment for him. And that's that type of leadership that can completely change your program.
So let me ask you this, JP, in Noel's talk here. This is my big question for you this morning. How much of that win over Alabama do you think was – and look, we know that last year's Florida State team, that wasn't the Florida State team.
That was the anomaly.
That was the anomaly. They underperformed, injuries, Sami gone, all of that stuff. So we know they're not a 2-win team. Obviously, that was ridiculous. We also know Alabama might be a little bit overhyped.
Yep.
So how much of this win is us seeing the real true, we think, Florida State team with a healthy Tommy, and maybe Alabama obviously not deserving the number 8 ranking, regardless of what Paul Feinbaum says, but maybe them being overhyped. Are they more of an even matchup than we think normally?
No. I think Alabama's a really good football team. I think they're a good football team. They have 33 5-stars. Yeah. They're loaded with talent. Okay. Now it takes more to be a better football team, but I think they're going to be a contender in the SEC. 100%. I think this loss, I think this is more about how much better Florida State is than it is about Alabama. Now, did they take Florida State a little lightly? I think so.
Yeah.
And I think the atmosphere was not that these guys haven't played in big games in loud stadiums, but that atmosphere was daunting. And Ty Simpson making his first start, I didn't think he played great, but FSU beat them up physically on both sides of the football. I don't want to go too much. We did this yesterday, so I want to bore you guys, but I think Alabama is still going to be in the hunt in the SEC. I just think there's a lot more parity now. I think coaching matters. I think leadership matters. I think they were lacking a little bit. Alabama's lacked a little bit of leadership the last couple of years, certainly at the quarterback position. So yeah, I think it's gonna. I think Alabama's going to be good. I think FSU is going to be a really. I think they can now be an 8 or 9 win team. Do I think they can beat Florida? Yeah. Do I think it'd be Miami? Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I thought Ty Simpson looked pretty good for his first start, right? 254 yards, 2 touchdown passes.
Wasn't terrible.
No, and Tommy, of course, wasn't utilizing his arms so much as he was his legs. 16 carries, 78 yards with a touchdown. He only threw 14 passes for 100.
That's all he needed to throw.
But that's the offense, right? That's how
Gus Malzahn, here's the thing. When I say coaching, to me, the difference in this game was Gus Malzahn and Tony White. Those two coordinators, I thought they outcoached Alabama. I thought Gus's play calling, the way he set up those reverses was tremendous. He knows what the hell he's doing. He knows he set up those reserve, the Danzy reserve, a reverse that went for the score was a backbreaker. And that was a huge play in the game. And then Norvell going for it on 4th and a long one late in the game, up 7. I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. And he did it, and it worked. And that was a huge ballsy call, and it worked. So yeah, and so we could transition to North Carolina, where coaching, like I said, coaching matters. I was so sure. I dropped a lot of money on TCU last night. I was so sure that they were going to embarrass UNC. I went way out of my normal unit, which you should never do. Yes, wow. I went way out of. Yeah, I just knew Belichick is so over his skis. And I was insulted, like Sonny Dykes was insulted. I think you have a little quote. I was insulted for college football. That everybody thought Bill Belichick could just come in and just coach these magic circles around all these college coaches. It ain't that easy. Not that easy. Sorry, pal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, leading up to this game, of course, TCU right down the street here in Fort Worth, we get a lot of TCU coverage here. Everybody loves Sonny Dykes. Everybody loved his dad, Spike Dykes, here in Texas. But all they heard was Bill's first game, right? This was all about Chapel Bill. It was all about the Tar Heels. And after the game, Sonny Dykes had this quote here from my buddy Mac Engel at the 4-Star Telegram. He said, "We felt a little disrespected. There was a lot of conversation about this game, and it wasn't about us."
Yep.
Dude, you're lighting a fire under your opponent. And you know what? In all fairness, this was not Bill Belichick doing this. This wasn't the Tar Heels program doing this. This was just the media hype, right? It had nothing to do with Bill.
Is the Belichick sycophants are the ones that made me so sure about this, and also made my skin crawl. I thought it was very patriarchal of the NFL and the people who cover the NFL to just say, "Oh, but Bill Belichick's going to rule the ACC, that crappy conference. He's going to come in there, coach circles around all these guys." And I realize TCU is not in the ACC, but it's going to be a men against boys. I'm like, you're out of your mind. First of all, it's always, the Jimmies and the Joes. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes, not the X's and O's. And that was my first thing about Belichick. How's he going to recruit? How's this old grumpy ass dude going to recruit? He ain't. You can't relate to these players. He's not going to put in the time that's needed and the ass kissing that's needed to get good players to UNC. He's not doing any of that. Oh, he's got 70 new players. I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Whose fault? I'm pretty sure they had a roster there in North Carolina.
All right.
Did they all just get up and leave because Bill Belichick was coming? Maybe. But no, I just, you got to get good players. And if he's such a great coach, why couldn't he have coached up these 70 new players to have a even look like they're in the same division as TCU? That was an ass kicking. 41 unanswered points. 41 unanswered points. You're an embarrassment. You better get Michael Jordan down there to play.
He can't play football.
I don't care. Play baseball.
Can't play baseball either.
He'd be better than some of those dudes I saw tackling air last night. I mean, where were the Belichick fundamentals? That was a disaster. And he's just sitting there on the headset, looking mad and stuff. Like, this is your fault, bro. Maybe everybody was making jokes about Jordan calling plays. Maybe she should have.
I had to call JP out on this tweet from yesterday, and it goes along with his. Why is my stuff sounding weird all of a sudden? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, it went a little low there.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now. Hang on.
Now you're okay now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, something.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. One moment, please. One moment, please.
I think it sounds good. Well, anyway, as I'll go on my diatribe. I thought it was disrespectful to college football in general.
Check.
Yeah,
okay, there we go. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was disrespectful to TCU.
Oh, for sure it was. Yeah.
You know, who's a really a good program, just was in the national championship game a couple of years ago. And like, and it's all about Bill Belichick, and we're gonna have Monday night football and the Belichick debut. I'm like, ugh, you don't want this. You don't want the stage to yourself, Billy boy, because this is gonna get ugly.
But that wasn't Bill's fault.
How is it not Bill's fault?
I mean, all the pageantry before the game. He didn't call for any of that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And look, this tweet right here, I told JP I was going to call him out. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying he's going to win the ACC in his first try or ever. I'm not even saying he's going to be coaching after this season. All I'm saying, it's the same argument I had with Arch Manning at Texas. I'm sure y'all buried that yesterday. Is, dude, give him a chance, man. It was game 1 in college with a new team. All right, it's the same exact argument with Arch Manning. All right, and they played a really good Horned Frogs team. Clearly, the Horned Frogs are a better team than UNC. Nobody will argue that against that. All right. Unfortunately, he had the misfortune of scoring on the first drive, and everybody went nuts. Like, oh, Bill's back. Bill's back. And I was saying, all right, can we just give it a few drives? Like, the game just started. All right. And anyway, look, I agree with you. This is going to be a disaster. I'm just saying, let's not bury it yet. Let's watch it and enjoy it as it happens. And by the way, I have another photo here, JP.
Yes.
That almost makes me feel sorry for Bill.
I love your production work today.
It almost makes me feel sorry for Bill Belichick because, again, UNC is all about Bill, right? Hey, man, we're celebrating Bill's first game here, his first weekend. Let's pretend it's a birthday party and put freaking balloons all around the podium. Even after, like, number one, whose idea was it to do this to begin? And number two,
it was a woman. First of all,
whose idea was it to leave it up after a 48-14 drubbing?
That's a Jordan type. That's a Jordan thing right there.
Did nobody think?
I'm going to bet you
like this
$1 billion. That's a Jordan thing. And when somebody suggested that they were going to take it down, she said, "Over my dead body, over my gold digging body." By the way, I trademarked gold digger. Over my gold digging body. Where you take those down? I don't care. That's my man up there, and I want balloons,
dude. This.
I think he came in and went, "What the hell is this?"
Was a horror. Yeah, and then somebody had to say it was Jordan's idea, right?
Oh, okay. That's fine then. Leave him up. I got to get something good out of it tonight. Don't piss her off.
Dude, this was just a horrible idea. Somebody should be fired.
But I think, I understand you're saying, oh, this is all on the media, overhyping Arch, overhyping Belichick. I think when you come back to college, you decide to come back to college and you demand what the hell, $20 million or whatever the hell they're paying him.
Yeah.
I think by doing that, you're saying, oh, well, this is going to be easy. You should pay me this much money because I'm going to turn this around. I'm worth the money, and this will be, watch what I can do in college football. Is that not fair? If you come in there and you demand this money, and I'm going back, I'm going to go to college and show you people how this is done. I don't know if those words ever came out of his mouth, but I didn't see him, discouraging it. I haven't watched a lot of these interviews, but I didn't see a lot of hey, this is going to take a lot of time. This is going to take some time for us to get to where we need to be. This is not an overnight success. I'm not some miracle worker. I haven't seen any of those interviews. Well,
he doesn't do those kind of interviews.
But I'm just saying, to me, when you come back in that type of fanfare and you make the choice to go to North Carolina and demand all this money, well, you better be accountable. And that was crap. That was crap. That was awful. And I think it was disrespectful to college football. And he got what he deserved.
And look, we know that he didn't on the sidelines, did not look like he was enjoying himself the last few years with the Patriots.
No.
Dude, he looks even more miserable on the side. Even when they scored the damn touchdown on the first drive of the game, he didn't look like he was enjoying himself. And then if you watch the midfield handshake with Sonny Dykes after the game, he never even looked at Sonny Dykes. They walked up, did the bro hug. They exchanged some words. Bill's looking off into the distance the whole time.
Of course.
He never one time looked Sonny Dykes in the eye. You know, I'm sure he said, hey, man, good game, good luck the rest of the way. Whatever his coach talk is. It was very, very disrespectful.
Yeah, and that's who he is. Yeah. So I'm just not down with it. I would love
in the eyes.
I loved every minute of it. Oh, I bet he does. Talking about Michael or
either one of them. Either one of them.
Are they married yet?
Who, Michael Jordan and Bill Belichick?
No, Jordan. And the gold digger in the. Anyway,
who's got more money? Michael.
All right, Jordan, so we got lots to get to with the Rays. A lot of other stuff to get to, but we're gonna stay on schedule here. Scott Reynolds coming up at 10:30. Yeah, we're gonna try to anyway. Trent Cooper, producer of the Bucs documentary, Raise the Flags. The big preview's coming in tonight, which I will be at. Looking forward to that. Tom Brady's coming in. They're gonna have big type, all these big muckety mucks coming in, and we're gonna see some clips from the event. Can't wait to talk to Trent about that. And Scott Reynolds as well. So big show coming your way. Get your comments in. We'll get to those in the second hour as well. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They're local, they are trusted, and they get results. Get your free case evaluation at jeeveslawgroup.com. Non-attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And On-Site Construction, FL.com is our first hour presenter. We love those folks. Get on the preferred client list by just calling them. You go to their website, On-Site Construction, FL.com. Great contractor. Check out all the 5-star reviews. Jason Fawcett is the owner. He will come to your home and he will peruse, and he can make suggestions on certain things you can do to renovate, add on to your home. And if there is an issue with the hurricane and you got to have some restoration done and your house rebuilt, you already know who your contractor is, and you are on the preferred client list, and you don't have to wait for weeks and months and months. So do that. OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Back at 3, Scott Reynolds. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week. So go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine & DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters, the official sports bar of the JP Peterson Show. So if you're headed out to the Rays game tonight, Rays Mariners, they've won 4 in a row. You got to stop by Riveters first, especially for happy hour. Get there early, 3 to 7 o'clock. Get those $3 domestics, $5 well drinks. The food is on special as well. You can get the chicken dip for $8. You can get 8 wings for $12. Great deal, and the best wings in town. Riveters.com is where you can go to see some of the great pictures of all the food. Let's go down there. Tell them JP sent you. We love Riveters. All right, let's welcome in the man, the myth, the face that runs the place, the great Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report. What's up, Scotty? How are you, my friend?
Doing good. How are you?
Outstanding. Are you a little out of focus this morning, or is my eyes a little out of focus?
That's all him.
Maybe your eyes.
I see it too.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
It might be.
Yeah, your internet's probably lagging a little bit.
How about
There
that?
you go.
Is that better?
There you
That's
go.
a little better, yeah.
Lovely. Hey, so we got Trent Cooper, producer, coming on.
Yeah.
After you. Very much looking forward to tonight's preview at the Tampa Theater. I know you'll be there.
No, actually,
I'll be there.
won't.
You won't?
I won't. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm actually leaving in about 2 hours. I have to fly to Virginia.
Oh,
Attend to some personal business. But yeah, I know.
Are you going to be all? You were interviewed for it. You're going to be all up in it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm scared of what my part is going to be. and I'm going to share this with you. And I shared this with Rondé Barber after the last preseason game, because of course he is one of the guys calling the games along with Chris Myers. So you may, because people like drama, you may see me, and maybe Trent Cooper did me a favor and didn't include this. I wouldn't blame him if he did include it. But so, he's asking me, I was in the seat for 6 hours.
Jeez,
getting asked all about this play and this year and that year and this player and this coach and all that stuff, right? It's 6 hours of just digging through 30 years of Bucs coverage, right? And he gets to Rondé Barber's interception, okay? And I told this to Rondé, so I'm telling you guys the same thing I told Rondé the other day. So for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why, because usually I'm pretty composed, I start crying like a little bitch.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just warning you right now. If you see me cry like a little bitch, I'm owning up to it.
Sweet.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing. My mom's favorite player was Rondé Barber. Like she loved Rondé. And Rondé knew this. Rondé and I were actually having lunch one time with Mark Cook, the late, great Mark Cook. And this was like during like the strike season, right? When the players were on strike, like back in the, I don't know, was it Shiano years or whatever. And I'm having lunch with Rondé and Mark. And my mom calls, and you know, she's met Rondé before, gotten the autographs and stuff. My mom passed away in 2020, right before the Bucs won the Super Bowl. And so she you know, she rings and I said, "Oh, Rondé, this is my mom. Can you answer the call?" Right. And so he's like, "Hey, Judy, this is Rondé Barber. I'm having lunch with Scott right now. Can he call you back in a minute?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Rondé Barber!" You know, she was so excited, like totally made her day. Rondé was fantastic.
That's awesome.
So the thing is, like, I associate Rondé like with my mom because she loves Rondé. So when Trent brings this up, for whatever reason, mom, you know, who again passed away years ago, pops in my brain. And then also too, I remember. I actually was not at that game. I was not at the NFC Championship game. We didn't have a budget back then due to a previous owner. But I remember being in my house. My daughter Ellie had just been born. She was like a year old, and I remember the neighborhood like screaming, like every house down my street. Literally, you could hear your neighbors screaming when Rondé Barber picked off that pass. And so I'm remembering that. I'm remembering my mom. I'm remembering like, wow, this is the moment. This is the best play in Bucs history by far, right? This is the franchise play. Yeah. And so I'm all these things as I'm starting to tear them and starting to dunk, you know, and all this. This is like coming out of me. And I remember Rondé, you know, kind of doing this as he goes to the end. Yeah. And I remember telling Trent, and it's all a little bit of a blur, like an emotional blur, but I remember him telling him, you know, he was doing, you know, he was pointing to the Barber nameplate on his back, right? Because he got snubbed for the Pro Bowl that year, but he was taking him to the Super Bowl instead. But honestly, it's kind of like, to me, that was the moment where he had the entire Bucs fan base on his back. Yeah. And he was pointing to them saying, I got you. And we're going to the Super Bowl, you know? So like,
screw the Pro Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. So if that part of the film makes it, that's my explanation. I own up to it.
Well, I'll ask Trent when he comes on.
Yeah, please ask him. Please. Yeah. And then text me and let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. When you get that kind of emotion out of an interview, that's one of those where you red star it and you go, yeah, we're probably going to use that.
Well, yeah, and of course, like after
you're not being a bitch. It's your mom, for God's sake.
I know, but
you're not crying about a football play. You're crying about
context,
your mom.
That's why I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because out of context, it looks like I'm just some fanboy slobbering over Rondé Barber's, you know, touchdown rather than being the objective journalist that I am.
Well, that's not only allowed, that's expected, Scott. Look, I've lost my mom too, so you should act that way with stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I couldn't help it. It just came out. But the thing is, like going through my mind, you guys have had like outer body experiences before, right? Like what I'm having in this moment, and I'm in the chair, you know, Trent's asked me the question, and it's like, I'm starting to get teary-eyed and emotional about this, and I'm having an out-of-body experience, like going, Reynolds, seriously? Like, are you really doing this right now? Like, it's almost kind of like when you're at the football game, you know, and you make some gesture, right? Like the Alabama guy doing the, you know, the we're number one symbol. It's like, you know, you just became like a meme. You just became a gift, right? Like you just, you know. And so as I'm, you know, blabbering on and on about this and sobbing about it, in my mind, I'm thinking, God, man, I'm probably only going to be on this documentary just this little part. This is probably going to be my only scene.
And then you'll be remembered as the crying bitch. Yeah,
and I'm Reynolds, the crying bitch. Yeah. So
Well, we know better.
No,
We
and,
know
and,
better.
and here's the thing too, and again, maybe Trent did me a solid and didn't include that. Maybe others did a better job of describing Rondé Barber's monumental pick six. But at the end of it, I even said like, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional. He's like, no, that was great.
That's great. They love that. They love that. Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait for tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool. But
it's so this is like a 10-part documentary.
Yeah, right? It's turned into a 10-part documentary.
10 parts. Yeah. So I mean, I think they're just showing like
190 hours. 190 hours of interviews.
Yeah. I mean,
I can't even imagine how you transcribe that. You edit that down. I don't even know. And all of it is so freaking good.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I do think I had some pretty good, like,
strong moments
too. Yeah. And I'm curious to see, like, out of the 180 hours, like, am I on there for like 30 seconds or a minute or a couple minutes? I'm just curious. I've never done one of these before, so I'm curious.
I'm curious how the whole thing breaks down.
So, I know.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. We got a game coming up this week. Hallelujah.
Amen.
I know you
only want to talk pro football, by the way. We're not talking college football, especially when I'm concerned.
That North Dakota State thing work out all right?
It was actually North Dakota. It wasn't even North Dakota State. It was North Dakota State. We would have lost. So.
Oh my God, that's right.
Oh yeah. Pathetic.
Anyways, well, if you would like to,
congrats to your Seminoles, by the way.
Boy, that was a great atmosphere. That was incredible. Yeah. I was putting up some.
It made it for last year, didn't it, JP? It made it for last year.
It kind of did. It's funny because you talk about the emotion.
Yeah.
Like I was getting a little verklempt watching it because 2-10 was so. It was so horrible.
I know.
It's so horrible.
And it was last year's bad, man. And we're beating Alabama.
At some point, you got to say to yourself, like, this is the point of the year where for 5 months we live and die on a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds who completely take over our mental health for 5 months of the year. And whose fault is that? But anyway, we died. So I'm actually at the end. I'm getting a nice video of the FSU team storming the field.
Yeah,
and I got a really nice shot. Yeah, and all of a sudden somebody hits my arm.
Oh no!
I almost dropped my phone.
Oh my God!
I look back. It's an asshole Alabama fan. Asshole Roll Tide fan. Yeah, there was a bunch of them there. Yeah, what a jerk.
Yep.
Jerk. Luckily,
you didn't give him a Roll Tide, did you?
I wanted to give him a Roll Tide.
You should have said War Eagle. That's all.
Yeah.
It's like, God, that'll piss him off.
Yeah. It might be a long year for that. But anyway, to pro football.
Yes. Bucs are going to win week 1. What's next?
Hassan Reddick could have a big game versus the Falcons was the title of your Peter Pulse.
You should.
They've got a third string tackle. I'm surprised they did not address that, but it'll be interesting to see how they use tight ends, Bijan Robinson, whatever. And this is where having a great edge rusher, a guy like Hassan Reddick's resume, can change the game plan.
Yes.
And that's what we're hoping.
Especially this week. Here's the thing. Hassan Reddick is going to be rushing from the left side more often than not. Yaya and him will flip a little bit, but by and large, he's going to be rushing from the left side of the line, going up against the right tackle in every game. And Yaya's rushing from the right side, going up against the left tackle in every game. And that's kind of how both players want it. They both want to kind of stay put, have a home base, and all that stuff. This game is unique because in just about every other game, with the exception of Miami, because Tua is a left-handed quarterback as well, Hassan Reddick will be attacking the blind side of Michael Penix. Usually he will be in the face of the quarterback because quarterbacks are right-handed. They will be seeing Hassan Reddick coming, and Yaya Diaby should be, if he's in the right place, getting a lot of cleanup sacks this year because of that. This is an interesting one because Yaya is going to be going up against Jake Matthews, the left tackle, in the face of Michael Penix, and he'll have a chance to go one-on-one a lot, probably every single play, because they have got to keep a tight end, keep a back. They've got to do what the Bucs are trying to do with Charlie Heck,
right,
with their left tackle in Tampa Bay, but the right tackle in Atlanta. And it's important because this is Michael Penix's blind side because he's a left-handed quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So with Hassan Reddick, with his speed, you should see Hassan Reddick sacks, plural, sack fumbles, pressures, exactly. And listen, if Hassan Reddick does not have a sack on Sunday, two things have happened. Number one, the Buccaneers have lost this game because, like, if you can't beat a third-string tackle, you might as well put Chris Braswell in there because Braswell had trouble beating third-string tackles in the preseason. We saw that, right?
Yes.
Or number two, the Buccaneers win this game, and Hassan Reddick forced all the action to Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey, Diaby, and they feasted because of the pressure he was applying from the backside, forcing Penix to step up into Vita or to Kalijah, or forcing him to roll into Yaya Diaby for some of those sacks. So let's hope it's the latter rather than the former. My expectation for Hassan Reddick is pretty high this season. I think he still is a dynamic pass rusher.
Agreed.
And week one should be kind of a coming out party. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson against Justin School for 4.5 sacks in week 2 last year against the Detroit Lions and the Bucs, but I think he should get to Michael Penix and make his presence felt multiple times, whether it is pressure, a hit, or sacks. And we'll see. To me, you're going to see Todd Bowles do a lot of blitzing on first down when the Falcons are expected to run the ball and try to. They're going to run the ball too at Hassan Reddick. They're going to try to wear him down, and this is going to be very. To me, who wins first down is going to determine the success of Atlanta's offense and the success of Tampa Bay's defense. If Todd Bowles can successfully get this team, the Falcons, into third and long situations, advantage Hassan Reddick, advantage the Buccaneers. If the Falcons can establish that running game, then if you're Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator, Michael Penix can pass, when he wants to rather than when he has to.
Right.
And that's what you want as a quarterback. Yeah, we can run it or we can throw it. But when you get into the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, you got to throw it. And that's really, I think, advantage to a Buccaneers defense that is playing tighter coverage and has more juice up front that can get after the quarterback.
Well, that's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping. That's the plan. When I look at this game, it's to me, it's not about will the Bucs score points. I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they will. They scored a lot of points on this Falcons defense last year. They had James Pierce Jr. They added a couple pieces here and there. But we'll see if they're much better. I think this is what this is about. Right. Which team defense is better than last year?
Yes.
And I think that's where this game is won.
The Buccaneers only allowed 22 points per game last year, which ranks 16th, right? And I went back and looked, and believe it or not, during the Super Bowl year in 2020, Todd Bowles' defense, guess how many points they give up? 22.
20.
But they were 8th back then. They were 8th in the league. Now it was 16th, right? So, not everything's the same year to year. But it feels like to me, if this team can get into the top 10 in scoring defense, right? 22, 21, 20 points or something like that per game, I feel like that's a huge step in the right direction.
Yep.
What was missing last year were the big plays, right?
Yes.
Allowing 22 points. Yeah. Allowing 22 points per game is one thing, but are you giving the ball back to your offense? Are you stealing possessions from your opponents? That's what has to happen this year. And I think that will happen. But at the same time that Tampa Bay was allowing 22 points per game, they allowed 36 points in the overtime loss in Atlanta last year in week, was it 5 or 6? And it's week 6, I believe. And then in the rematch in the creamsicle game, they allowed 31. So for a defense that was allowing 22 points per game and a Falcons offense that was only averaging 23 points per game on offense, Tampa Bay just didn't match up, which brings me to this. Sack Michael Penix, but don't hurt him. Good Lord, don't get Kirk Cousins in the game, man. He is the Bucs' kryptonite. 4 touchdowns in each game, 8 touchdowns. He threw for 509 yards the last 2 times these played each other in Atlanta.
He weirdly had very Baker Mayfield-like performances against the Bucs.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know. Here's the thing. We didn't see Michael Penix play during the preseason, right? And that was a curious move by Raheem Morris. What if Raheem Morris just pulls the absolute shocker? Like, we thought it was a surprise last year when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix, right? In the first round?
Yeah, there's no way.
So what if he comes out with the biggest shocker of all and says, I'm starting the guy that was 2-0 against the Buccaneers. I'm starting Kirk Cousins against the Bucs.
That would be
I mean,
insane.
It's not going to happen. But by God, if it did, it might be genius.
That would worry me more than if Penix was starting. I'm going to be honest.
Me too. Yes, this
that
is
would
Michael
throw the Bucs
start.
for a loop. No question about it.
Yeah,
no question. But also, like, if you're Raheem, that really exposes you as a wild move to get. I mean, geez, oh Peach,
you lose that game after that, your job might be on the line.
Yeah. Well, I will say, right? Like, here's the thing. If and this is the wild scenario, this is fantasy football. I don't believe this is going to happen. But if Kirk Cousins starts and wins that game, Raheem Morris just benches him the next week and says, "Oh, I told you Michael Penix was our starting quarterback." Except when we played Tampa Bay, because Kirk Cousins is the Bucs' kryptonite. So I don't know.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Scott Reynolds joining us here from the Pewter Report. All right, I want to ask you. This is kind of last week's news, but the Micah Parsons deal, people were asking me, why didn't the Bucs get in on this? The Packers got better. We didn't. And my whole thought was the price is too high.
Yes.
It would upset the culture of what the Bucs have tried to build here by asking everybody else to take less money and bringing some outsider in and showering him with cash.
Correct.
There are plenty of reports and certainly Tim could tell us all about what a locker room cancer he is. None of it fits. None of it fits.
He's a selfish player, right?
He's a selfish player. Yeah.
And I doesn't study film.
Doesn't mean it wasn't good for the Packers.
Right.
Because I think for the Packers, I think it's a good deal for them. I think it's a great deal for them. But it just didn't fit for us. Is that fair?
Right. Yeah. They don't have much star power out there in Green Bay on defense, right? They've got literally, two guys that are even like recognizable names around the NFL. So they needed some star power. I think Tampa Bay, you've got Antoine Winfield Jr. You've got Levante David still, right? Who had a good year last year, even at 34. Now he's 35. You've just signed Hassan Reddick. You have Yaya Diaby you feel good about. You've got a Pro Bowler in Vita Vea. You've got a future Pro Bowler in Kalijah Kancey. I think Servassier Dennis is going to have a breakout year this year. You got Zion McCollum, who I believe will go from a B corner to an A corner this year. So you got star power on your defense already. You don't need that. And I will say this team has high hopes for Yaya Diaby. And I think learning how to play opposite Hassan Reddick is going to do wonders for his game, his confidence. And sometimes playing second fiddle can elevate you. I saw it firsthand in Kansas City growing up when the Chiefs drafted Derek Thomas in the first round. They started to get good. Then they drafted Neil Smith in the first round. Yeah. And both of those guys were bookends and played so well off each other. And Derek Thomas was the star. It was like a Jordan and Pippen kind of thing, right? Yeah. But Neil Smith was good too. He was Scottie Pippen, right? He was a Pro Bowler and had double-digit sacks many years, etc. And even if Yaya's not ready to be an alpha, and maybe he never becomes the alpha, he can be a damn good B+ edge rusher. And you don't want to stun his growth in year 3 by bringing Micah Parsons in and rocking the apple cart, right? Because Yaya's, he's been thrust into this position. I think he's earned it too, but he's ready to step up on the stage and say, hey, finally, it's not just me up front. Right. Opposite Joe Tryon-Schwenka, who, was allergic to quarterbacks apparently, but
have fun.
What I'm saying? So now you've got him and you've got Hassan Reddick. Let these guys cook. Yes. The problem with the Buccaneers is they don't have another depth rusher. And maybe you're thinking out there, okay, well, if you got Micah Parsons, then Yaya's the depth rusher. Yes, that's true. But when you factor in everything, how much draft collateral it would take, how much cash, this team has the culture just right. It's 53 guys rowing in the same direction. There is an order of things. The next contract will be Lou Gedeke, right? Or Cade Otton or Zion McCollum. Now you're paying an outsider top dollar who hasn't played it down in the Buccaneers. That might work okay in other places. Right. That's not going to sit well in Tampa.
Agreed.
And let me throw another wrench in the machine here with Micah Parsons, and as it pertains to the Bucs. I believe there is concern from other teams about his health this year.
Yeah.
He's dealing with the back issue.
That's right.
And this back issue is not to be taken lightly. They're talking about him needing injections in his back to play against the Lions on this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So for a team like the Buccaneers, who are what? In win now mode, their window is wide open for a Super Bowl. If you're going to make that drastic of a roster change and give up that much, that many draft picks, that much equity for Micah Parsons, he needs to be 100% healthy and help you win this year. That needs to be a this year thing, right?
You're exactly right.
I don't think he's right.
I don't know that he is either.
Jerry knew that too.
Maybe, and the Packers will find that out. The other thing too is you go back and look at a couple of the more recent mega deals in Tampa, and some of them have absolutely worked out. Right, Baker Mayfield, worth every penny at $33 million a year. He was underpaid the day he signed that contract, and he's still underpaid now. Mike Evans, certainly. Godwin, we'll see. Right, Godwin, he's got to come back and be that guy to earn $20+ million. But I go back to they paid Shaq Barrett a king's ransom, and in 2022, Thursday night against the Ravens, tore his Achilles. He was never the same. Never the same, And they paid a bunch of money to Ryan Jensen, and he got hurt. Unfortunately, it was a fluke injury. He didn't do anything to deserve that. Very much like what happened with Chris, kind of a fluke injury. Same thing with Shaq. Chasing Lamar Jackson, rip your Achilles, fluke injury. But the thing is that's a lot of dead money for a guy that can't help you. Yeah. And if this is a serious back problem, it requires surgery or something, I don't know. But it's you want to invest in healthy players. Shaq Barrett, when they gave him that money, was aging but healthy. Same with Ryan Jensen. He was aging but healthy at the time. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And this team has rolled the dice on Chris Godwin twice now, not being healthy, giving him a bunch of money. And
it's paid off.
And it's paid off the first time when he was 26. Yeah. Is it going to pay off again now at age 29 with a completely different injury? We'll see. But I don't think Jason Light wanted to roll the dice again on another injured player, giving him money sight unseen. At least Chris, he's been in the building. He's a leader. He does things the right way. To import a problem, to import a guy that's injured, and give him not your own players when your whole mantra is, hey, if you play well, we're going to pay you.
Exactly. Right.
And now you're flipping the script and saying, oh, we're going to pay somebody else who hasn't played it down, who doesn't know anybody in this locker room.
Right.
We're going to pay him top dollar.
No,
that's not the Jason Light way, folks. I mean,
exactly.
We didn't do any, not that we do stuff for clicks, but it's like, we didn't even entertain the option. We didn't do a post video on it. We didn't do any stories on it. Will the Bucs be in the Micah Parsons sweepstakes? No, because we knew the answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. 100%. No, I totally agree. And if you're from a Buccaneers standpoint, if you're a fan, you say, oh, the Packers got better and we didn't. I'd say in the long run, this is going to hurt their organization. I think in the long run, and they're going to, they're obviously an NFC contender this year, but
I would have felt better trading for 30/31-year-old Trey Hendrickson, to be honest, because Hendrickson would have been a perfect fit coming back home to a state of Florida. I think he's an Orlando native. He played at FAU. He would have been, he's a team guy. He would have been
exactly
a way better investment minus his age, right? Because there is that magic age, and we've seen it here in Tampa with the greatest pass rushers this franchise has ever seen, edge rushers. We've seen it with Shaq Barrett, Simeon Rice, JPP. 31-32, they fall off the cliff. Even though by 33, they're done. And so that's what you have to weigh into all this. And that was the appealing thing with Micah Parsons. I get it. He's 26 years old. He's the same age as Yaya Diaby, and he's had a ton of production. But at what cost? And more importantly, Tim, let me ask you, what did Micah Parsons ultimately do for the Dallas Cowboys?
Not a damn thing.
Well, they won steadily squat with him.
He disappears in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And so I get the Madden players out there, the fantasy football players that look at the PFF grades and the double-digit sacks and they say, oh, he can do it. Listen, it takes more than that, And to be perfectly frank, it's like, Hassan Reddick was a double-digit sacker before he went to Philly, and then he fit into that culture and where he wasn't. He was a superhero on a superhero team in Philly that almost beat the Chiefs in 2022, I believe, And, sometimes it works when it's an ensemble. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it just didn't fit.
And
it didn't fit what the Bucs
maybe
are
it
doing
fits with
Jason.
the Packers. I don't know, but it would not have fit here in Tampa.
Yep.
All right, partner. We got to find out if you're in this. If your crying scene has made the final cut. So Trent's coming up next.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time as always.
Let me know.
And we'll be watching
Trent,
Pewter Report TV.
There's still time to make an edit. I'm just letting you know. Nothing said in
Yeah,
stone.
well, I'll let him know.
If you want to put me on the cutting room floor, that's fine with me. That part, yeah, go for it.
You'll
All
never
right,
make
guys.
our cutting room
Thank
floor.
you.
Though. You'll always.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
The great Scott Reynolds there. Pewter Report. Follow them and all their upcoming coverage. You're going to do Pewter Report game day as well, so they'll have that on all day long. You can have a double screen thing going on. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, producer Trent Cooper of Raise the Flags. This is an epic documentary that you will not want to miss. It's going to be a great conversation. Can't wait to chat with him. Stay with us. Quick break. The Gold and Diamond Source is working every day to be your family jeweler. Right now, a $5,000 engagement ring with 0% interest can be yours for just $83. So don't let the holidays sneak up on you this year. Now is the time to get ahead with their in-store layaway. Trade in your old jewelry for cash. Gold has never been higher. The Gold and Diamond Source is offering the highest ever trade-in values for your gold and diamond jewelry. Now is the time to get your holiday shopping started. So come in now, relax, shop, and save at the Gold and Diamond Source. We love Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local philanthropists, and you can find them at 3800 Omerton Road in Clearwater, where you'll always find the perfect gift, only at the Gold and Diamond Source. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Make sure you get that insurance checkup for your business insurance, your flood insurance. Make sure you have full insurance on your home. 40% of you do not. So make sure you make a call, 813-877-7799. All right, we want to welcome in. He is an Emmy Award-winning producer for NFL films. Trent Cooper joins us here, a huge Buccaneer fan. I don't know if it's 11 Emmy Awards. I'm reading your bio. I'm like, how many? 43 nominations for NFL 360. Good Lord. You got a lot of hardware, my friend. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm doing great. I'm excited about this project. I also appreciate the call from you. You've been a good pal and a supporter of the stuff that we do over the years. So love to hear from you and glad to be on the show.
Well, and I want to start everybody off as a good producer here and make the emotional connection from the fans to you, that your fandom, they're just not some producer, that hired gun that's been brought in. You were in the stands the day the Buccaneers won their first home game and took the goalpost down. Were you not? Tell us that story. Let's make the emotional connection with the fan base.
I didn't know you know that story. Did I tell you that?
Well, actually, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and Rick Stroud has a great one. So I listened to you guys talk this morning, and it got me nice and prepped for the interview. So you can go listen to that one as well. It's a great podcast.
Yeah, Rick Stroud's podcast is great. So I don't know, I'm dating myself here, but I think I was 7 years old. And I remember my neighbor knocked on the door like at 10 o'clock in the morning. He said, I've got some extra tickets to a Bucs game. I can't use them. Do you guys want to use them? And all of a sudden, my brother and my stepfather, we all get in the car and go to Tampa. And we're in the stands. And I remember we were in the end zone, and it was rocking. It was packed. It was rocking. And everyone was chanting something. And I remember looking at my brother, who must have been 10 at the time, and I'm 7. And I'm like, what are they saying? I can't understand what they're chanting. And he says, they're chanting, let's go 2 in a row. And I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, well, they just won their first game last week in New Orleans, and now they're trying to win their second game ever. Let's go 2 in a row. And that's all I needed. And I started chanting, let's go 2 in a row. 7 years old, going crazy. And then the game ends. They win their second ever game, and everyone storms the field and starts tearing down the goalposts. And I'm like getting ready to go. I'm 7 years old. And everyone was just like, okay, you're not doing that. You need to stay back, because it was like a stampede of people. But I have been a fan ever since that moment. And I mean, dude, I moved away from the area. I grew up in Lakeland, and we went to Bucs games. We watched every game. But after college, I lived in Tampa for a second, but I moved away, and I haven't lived there for 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever missed a Bucs game. I mean, and the trouble that you go to when you don't live in the area to watch games. I mean, this was before DirecTV and the Sunday Ticket. I mean, I used to have to go to the bar at 10 a.m., 2 hours before they open, and just kind of sit there and talk to the bartender and
make sure they had it on, right?
To a seat in front of the TV so they would play my game.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise,
get them emotionally invested. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so, when I heard you tell that story, it's something magical about going to an NFL football game. I grew up a Dolphins fan, so my dad would take me to the Orange Bowl, and I watched that 72 perfect season. And it was, it set me up for life for being not just a sports fan, but a Dolphin fan. And I've since, those allegiances have gone away, but not for you. Because this Bucs thing, it's personal for you. And I heard you 190 hours of interviews, 190. How do you even pick and choose what makes it and what doesn't? I mean, it's all about storytelling. It's about the individual stories, right?
Yeah. First of all, I don't know if the audience knows that would have an appreciation for how, is that a lot? Is that a little? I don't know. I mean, 190, what's the difference, right? I don't
Seems like a lot.
It's a lot. It's insane. I've been doing this for decades, and I've never had anything close to this. So usually you work for the NFL, you get access to a big star, you get 10 minutes with them. If it's a special circumstance, you might get 20, and you have to be so prepared, and every second counts. And here, 5 hours with John Gruden, 5 hours with Tony Dungy, 2 different sessions with Derek Brooks, each several hours, and the list goes on and on. And the Glazers, I'm going to tie this back to your Miami stuff. Yeah, they don't do a lot of interviews, right?
No.
We know our owners. We love our owners. We don't know them that well. They don't do a lot of it. They're very humble, private people. They don't like to go be Jerry Jones. It's just not.
We love that,
right?
We love that in our owner.
It's cool. I think it's very commendable. Well, in this case, you know what? It's our 50th anniversary. We're going to talk. We're going to tell our story. We're going to be authentic. And I mean, Joel, Brian, Ed, 2 days with each of them, and we go through. Well, you have to think about, like, there's so much history.
Yeah.
You can't do it in 20 minutes. There's just decades of stuff and story. And we wanted to really dig deep and find the story behind the story. Like, these are iconic moments. We all know Rondé Barber had the interception, but what's the story behind that you don't know? And you got to dig and dig and dig. So I'm getting back to your Miami thing. What I didn't know is that the Glazers grew up huge Miami Dolphin fans.
Yeah.
And so, they grew up in Rochester, but the family would vacation in Florida. So once a year they get to go to a Dolphin game, and they would all funnel in. And just like you, Joel Glazer's first and best memory is being 6 or 7 years old and being at the Orange Bowl for that, undefeated, back in the heyday. Yeah.
Well, he was there too. I'll have to ask him.
He was there too, and he remembers little things. He remembers the blazing sun that day, and it was in his eyes. And he and he paints such an awesome picture. And I feel like he's letting us into this side of him. Like, I didn't know. I guess I never knew that our owners were just such football fans, man. They love this shit so much. They love it the way me and you do.
Yeah,
and it
which
really
is weird.
comes through.
Which is kind of weird.
Why is it weird?
I think because we think it's a business. It's a business. They can't be emotionally involved. It's a business for them. That's just cashing a check. But for these guys, it's so not. It's so not. I think this is going to be one of the revelations of because we never see them talk. We never see them, bare their soul and their emotions and become so connected, which I think fans will really, really enjoy. There's so many. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's incredibly refreshing. And there's nothing about it like, they didn't want anything to be fake. They just wanted it to be authentic, and they gave me an enormous amount of autonomy to go do what I do. But at the same time, like, specifically Ed Glazer, this is his project. He's overseeing, it's his passion project with me, and, he's in the weeds with me. And I think he's looking at transcripts. He's looking at cut, like this is stuff you just don't expect an owner to care as much. But the question is, why does he care? Because he wants the story told well. He wants to document the history of this franchise is very precious to the family, and they're really proud of where we are, what we've been through. They're a piece of it. They've now owned the team for 30 years.
Yeah.
So there's still 20 years before them. And it was very important to them that we cover that beautifully and deep. And, we started to, a lot of fans may not realize you guys like Joe Gibbs and Ron Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, these are Hall of Famers that had a big part of our history in year 1, year 3. And I mean, I'm a lifelong Bucs fan. I didn't know Ron Wolf was our original GM, and he's the guy that drafted Leroy Selman. I mean, it's Ron Wolf, the architect of the Green Bay Packers. I didn't know he's our guy too. Yeah. So and the role that Joe Gibbs played in getting Doug Williams on board, and that relationship through John McKay, but facilitated by this young first-time offensive coordinator named Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't know that story. I'm looking forward to seeing that story.
Super cool.
There's so many linchpin moments, pardon the pun, of this franchise that you get into, and we're going to learn new things. The acquisition of John Gruden, which I lived through at Channel 8, was one of the most fascinating stories. And I remember telling this part on the air when we finally found it out of how, and I don't want to reveal any secrets, but just from, and I still don't think people know this, but how the boys, the Glazer, I call them boys, how they manipulated that. And, with the Al Davis and using Mariucci as a pawn, because Davis hated the 49ers so much, he didn't want them to get all the compensation. So it was a brilliant move that none of us saw coming. I mean, it was Marvin Lewis and Rich McKay was out on, we're following the plane around trying to figure out who's the next guy. Is it Parcells? How do they not have somebody in line here? Like, it was such a debacle, and it turned out to be one of the greatest gambles in the history of the NFL. I mean, 2 1s, 2 2s, and $8 million. Are you out of your mind? No coach is worth that unless he wins a Super Bowl.
High stakes drama, and it all went down overnight when we were all asleep. None of us fans had any idea what was going on through the night. And you have to imagine Joel and Brian being in their early 30s, and they're going toe to toe with the great Al Davis and his ego.
Yeah.
And his history and all the personnel moves he's made. I mean, nobody outfoxes Al Davis, right? And he's sitting on John Gruden, who's the hottest, coolest, most promising young coach in football. He doesn't want to get rid of John Gruden. Are you kidding me? And these guys, the negotiation that night was masterful. And you're going to learn when you watch the series all the things you didn't know about that night.
Oh.
And not only that, dude, we actually have, like, Joel sent me a copy of his handwritten notes while he's on the phone with Al Davis. So you're going to see, like, he's writing down, like, you see his handwritten notes. This is what Al's asking for. We'd have to do this. Blah, blah, blah. So you, and the facts of the contract. I mean, it's super cool, man. Our hope is that when you do sports docs, you want to tap something that was big, that we all remember and that was iconic, but you want to go inside. You want to learn all the stuff you didn't know about that iconic thing. And if you can reveal and learn and discover, and oh, by the way, if you can also be emotional and you can go on this emotional journey with these young 30-something executives who have a lot of pressure on them. They just said goodbye to the most beloved coach in Buccaneer history, who we love to this day. And we still can't believe we fired Tony Dungy. I mean, he turned it all around. How do you walk away from Tony Dungy? I don't care about the offense. It's Tony Dungy.
Right.
But they took that chance because they knew our window was closing. And they say something really, really cool in this doc that hit me hard. They're like, who you have to decide, like, who your loyalty is to. Is it to Tony, who we love, or is it to the 65,000 fans who paid all this money to come to this game, or the hundreds of thousands of fans who are watching on TV? Like, they've been waiting for the Super Bowl their whole life. Like, you have to take your shot while you have it. And you see them wrestle with that decision despite their incredible love for Tony. And then what they were able to pull off with Al Davis. It's cool stuff. It's really
well, and it strikes me that patience has been a real virtue for the Glazers. And I would argue that their patience with Tony early on paved the way for that Super Bowl. And then their patience with Jason Light, who would normally have been fired with the record that he had, but they saw something special in him, an authenticity, a guy that would admit his mistakes, but was determined to get it right. And he went out and got Bruce Arians, which got Tom Brady. That acquisition, how that whole thing played out for the second Super Bowl is amazing. I mean, you got the gamble of Gruden in the first one, the patience with Tony Dungy, and then the second one, the Brady acquisition. And I'm sure this is a huge part. I know you don't want to give stuff away, but how cool was that story?
I think it's cool for a lot of reasons. We just lived it. we all love Brady, and it was so much fun to be on that ride in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I didn't have a full understanding of how it all came together, and I definitely didn't understand what an amazing storyteller Jason Light is.
He's good.
I'm sure you've had him on your show, and I mean, he's just
better than that. I've had beers with him, and those stories are way better than the ones on the show. And he is a great storyteller, like an old baseball
phenomenal
guy.
storyteller. He I don't want him to ever stop being our GM, but if he ever did, he could be in TV in a nanosecond. Like, he's so good at it.
So good.
But he takes us inside how that went, and there's an incredible human side to this. So you would imagine, hearing it from him and John Spytek's point of view, they were like, holy shit, this is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And we have this in place and that in place. And, would he really do this? Would he really leave New England? Is this like some practical joke that the world's playing? Like, is this possible? And then, Spytek says, yeah, if you build it, he will come. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, it's the movie. What's
Field of Dreams? Field of Dreams.
Operation
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
So that's where Operation Shoeless Joe. But it's true. If you talk to Tom, like, he looked at what they had built, man.
Right.
I mean, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Like, who wouldn't want to come play with those guys in their prime? You've got that killer defense, that pass rush. You've got those linebackers. You've got a culture that he felt like he could impact and help get over that. Like, it was perfect.
But the coach in Arians that'll let it rip.
Let it rip. And maybe Tom, I don't want to speak for him, but after a couple decades with Belichick, he wanted something different. And that's exactly what BA was.
Yeah.
But then he also had Gronk, because Gronk is gonna just give him a little bit of comfort, but he's also gonna, like, Tom is so intense at times. Gronk, like, makes it fun.
Yeah.
And lets everybody know we can still have a little bit of that, and we can still go, kick ass and be the best blocking tight end of all time and be the best receiver. So it all kind of came together magically. But I think what's most exciting about how we tell that story is you get to see it through the lens of these insiders that lived it. And you also feel that they, like us, were asking the same questions, which is like, it's Tom Brady. Is he really going to come to Tampa? Like, this Tampa, we don't get Tom Brady. Like, that's not how it works. And then, they made it happen.
Awesome stuff. Now, tell me, with the preview tonight, Brady's going to be in town, so we'll get some more stories tonight. As well.
Yeah. So this is what I want. I will give you a little context what tonight is. First of all, we are not finished with making this doc series. It is a series of episodes. We're not done yet. We're deep into it. I would say we're about 85-90% done, but we're not done. What tonight is a celebration to help kick off their 50th season. And as part of that celebration, one of the things they're doing is tonight, and we are showing 4 or 5 scenes from the series. So select scenes that represent different eras of the 50 years. And what's cool is after we show a scene like from 1979, we, bring up Doug Williams and Jimmy Giles, and they're going to talk. They're going to do a little Q&A.
Awesome.
For a bit. So you're going to get, like, it's very interactive. It's very personal. So you get a little of that, and then you'll go back and you'll see a scene about John Gruden, and bring up John Gruden, and he'll talk for a little while. So, and Mike Evans will do his scene, and Brady will do his. So it's that. It is not a movie
premiere. Yeah,
it's more of an interactive night that's very much a celebration to kind of kick off the 50th. With they're doing lots of events to do that, as you know. Have
you decided how you're going to disseminate this? What platform? How many episodes?
So the team, that is not something I'm allowed to talk about.
Okay.
The team will announce later in the season. They'll announce exactly when this is coming out and on what platform. All of that is being handled by them. My job's to do the work. I don't do the announcements.
So, by the way, Scott Reynolds was just on. He wants to know if when he was crying like a bitch, is that's going to be in the, because he's afraid that you're going to show him crying like a bitch.
I didn't. He might get a little choked up. He might get a little. He has the greatest line. He's talking about Rondé Barber. I'm going to give this away. Did he tell you why he was crying?
Yeah, his mom. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what was the other part?
Well, it was Rondé, and when Rondé, because we're all so fond of Rondé. I mean,
I should say
reasons.
Rondé was his mom's best favorite player.
Oh,
So it all ties in. Yeah.
So, but we all love Rondé for different reasons. I think we all relate to him. He's just such an underdog, and he was just our guy, right? So when he's, when he makes the interception, he takes it back, takes it to the house, and sends us to the Super Bowl. As he's crossing the goal line, he's pointing to his back, and a lot of people have different thoughts on why he's doing that and what he's saying in that moment. Of course, Rondé answers his own questions about that. But what Scott said, which I felt, is that he's putting this entire city, this fan base, this franchise on his back in that moment and saying, follow me. I am taking you to the Super Bowl.
Oh, God, I got chills.
And when Scott said that, he had a tear in his eyes. I got chills. Yeah. I mean, and then I'll give this away. So in that moment, we flash shots of fans from the 70s, the 80s. Like we were all with him in that moment.
Yes. Oh, God. Yeah, I was there in that moment on the sidelines, and when he came back and he said, "Fuck the Pro Bowl, we're going to the Super Bowl," because he had 10 interceptions that year, was famously left off, and the two Eagles corners were on him. He's like, "Fuck the Pro Bowl, we're going to the Super Bowl."
But it's kind of a metaphor for the whole team, right? Like, they don't send you to
franchise.
You never really get the respect.
Yeah,
this team has won 2 Super Bowls. To this day, nobody thinks of them in the same way as those iconic brands, legacy teams. That were not the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys just came out with their doc. They haven't been in the Super Bowl in 30 years. They can't even. I mean, do they?
We've been to playoffs 5 years in a row. No NFC team has done that. The only other team is the Chiefs. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
But what's cool is if you lean into it, you can sort of wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh, of course.
That team that nobody sees coming. And that's why, I love the years when we're not predicted to go to the Super Bowl, because that's fun. Like this is a year, I would say, this is a fun year for me, because I don't think anybody's really thinking about it, other than us. We know the local fans. We know. It's starting to slip out.
It's starting to slip out as people, open their eyes to it. But
but it's not like you have Tom Brady and you brought back, all 22 starters from the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust. You have to win, or this is we've leveraged the future. It's not that. Like we're sneaking up on the world here.
So. All right, I know you got to go. Thank you so much for your time, Trent. I'll see you tonight, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, JP.
See you. Trent Cooper there, Emmy Award winning. Raise the Flags is going to be outstanding. We appreciate you coming on. Man, I've gotten a little bit of behind the scenes stuff from Trent and some other folks that we can't talk about, but it's going to be, if you're a Bucs fan, I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be crazy good. And I get so emotional about it. Growing up as a Dolphin fan, that allegiance now is switched, and I try not to be a fan, but you just can't. It's because of the people. I root for the people more than the team, just because as being a journalist, you want to be objective, but it's hard not to, learn to love Rondé Barber and Derek Brooks and the Glazers. As limited as I've gotten to know them, but I understand, and they were very, they were not popular at points of their ownership here. The stadium fight got really ugly, and people didn't like the way it played out. And I think the Glazers have gone from somewhat of and then there was the whole Manchester United when they were buying that and not spending a whole lot of money on their football team. But in the end, that was a means to an end as well, because then they had all the money that they were flush with to put into the Brady years. Where they can go out and pay all these bonuses, not necessarily to Brady, but to Gronk and everybody else that they had to bring on board. And they've never said no to Jason Light in terms of, I think Bruce had the biggest coaching staff in the NFL, and you got to sign off on all those, $3, $4, $5, $6, $700,000 a year or more, jobs. So the Glazers have been tremendous owners. And I think I think one of the great stories that will come out of this is kind of, I don't know, vindication may not be the right word, but there were times when they were not popular here, and they have been incredible owners on so many levels, and have taken it to a whole different level in terms of what they do in the community. So it's this 50th year is going to be a great celebration. And this documentary is kind of, for me, where it all comes together. It's just not about this season. It's about 50 seasons, and it's about this underdog mentality that matches very much the city. We're not Miami. We're not, Orlando. Thank God. We're much more authentic. Yeah. We're much more authentic and real and blue collar than these other places. We're different. We're Tampa Bay. We'll always be the Buccaneers, that'll always be part of our legacy, but we have climbed out of that to a perch of, like, a lot of franchises in the NFL would like to claim what the Bucs have put together, especially in the past 5 to 10 years. I mean, almost everyone, including the Cowboys, including some of these bigger brands, have not done with the Buccaneers, not the 49ers, not the Cowboys, not the Eagles, not the Lions, not the Packers. Nobody's done what this team has done over the last 5 years. And if you go back to 97, there was obviously a lost decade there. But it's been this is, I think Tampa Bay has emerged now, the Buccaneers especially, as one of the top 10 franchises in the NFL. I think people recognize that now. I may be wrong. It's hard for me to look at an outside national perspective, because that's not my perspective. It's my perspective is very different. It's from the inside. I probably should ask you, Tim, how do you think the nation sees the Buccaneers franchise now?
Oh, it's an afterthought. Like, I've been doing this show with you for 2 years and talking about the Bucs, and I was already a fan of the Bucs because, mainly because of players that played there and things like that. But from a national standpoint, they're an afterthought. Like, no one, when you talk about, some of the greatest teams, some of the greatest franchises in league history, you still have people mention the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And you don't have people mentioning the Bucs.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't know if it's geographical, like if they just get lost because of where they are in the country, and you got a bigger market like Miami, or if it's because, they do fly as a franchise under the radar a lot of times. All they do is do what they do, and they do it very, very well. But they're not a flashy franchise. You don't have a flashy, outspoken owner. You don't have a flashy, outspoken GM. You don't have a flashy, outspoken, well, you do now, kind of quarterback. And everybody just kind of does their job and keep to themselves. Whereas, other teams have the flashy players. And
even with the Brady years, even with the Brady, like, how is that perceived?
But that was all Tom Brady.
Yeah.
The team never got attention. Tom Brady got all the attention.
Yeah, it's true.
It wasn't the team, it was Brady, and then he left and everybody forgot the Bucs existed again. It's unfortunate, but you know what? Kind of embrace it, Yeah,
of course. No, exactly what Trent said.
That's who you are.
That's who we are. And I kind of like that mentality. I like that blue collar underdog mentality. It's better than having the false bravado of the Cowboys franchise.
Oh my God, what a disaster.
Even I'm sure people look at the Dolphins and go, if you ask most fans, who's had more success, the Dolphins or the Buccaneers, they'd go, oh, the Dolphins. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since the 90s, right? I think the 1900s. It's unbelievable how much better the Buccaneers have been. So,
embrace it. I mean, Tampa Bay, embrace it all.
Yeah, indeed. And indeed we do. And I'll have, a bunch of social media stuff tonight from the premiere. The red carpet's at 6:00. So I'll put up a bunch of stuff on Instagram and see all the people that arrive and who's with who and what they're wearing. She kind of do a live thing, but maybe I'll do a little live for you.
By the way, JP, do you want the Miami Dolphins' last postseason win?
Was it 98? 2001?
2000 playoffs, the wild card round, a 23-7 win over the Colts. They went on in the division series to lose to the Raiders 27-0. That was a good Raiders team, obviously, in 2000.
Yeah,
They've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 postseason games in a row since the year 2000.
All right, we get a lot of comments coming in. I want to get to these in our final half hour. Tons of great comments. You people become the star next, so whatever thoughts, questions, comments, insults that you have for me and Tim, please put them in the comments, and we would love to read them. Bring it on, bitches. Let's go. Hey, we are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC and Mechanical. Anything around the house you need done in that vein, they will do it for you. And they're also partnering with American Standard Air Conditioners to bring you the best in installation. American Standard is the standard, the best for reliability, the best for efficiency. Get the most for your money with an American Standard air conditioning unit. You'll also get a free year of maintenance from Third Generation Plumbing with a new install. So go to their website, contact them through there, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Tell them JP sent you. A great marriage with American Standard and Third Generation Plumbing. Back in 3 with their comments. Stay with us. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, coming to you live from our beautiful Kingmakers studio right here. Kingmakers Tampa is a private club. It is a very unique experience. You work here during the day in Midtown Tampa, great location. And at night, you can have fun in our sports bar, in our golf simulator. You can do work here in this beautiful studio here, this production studio. It's all part of Kingmakers Tampa, so check it out, kingmakerstampa.com. We also want to welcome in a new sponsor. Yes, more and more sponsors showing up. Delete Me is the name of our new sponsor. They make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment. We've seen all of that. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. It's a very unique company, and you just got to take control of your data, folks, and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now with a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting HIT, HIT, to 64000. That's HIT to 64000. Get 20% off. The only way to get that is to text HIT to 64000. That's HIT to 64000. Message and data rates apply. So, yeah, that's Delete Me. Check that out, because you don't want your stuff out there on the dark web, boys and girls. You do not want that. That is not good. Not good.
Protect your privacy.
Yes, protect
something I should have learned a long time ago.
There's so much of that out there now, too. Boy, the phishing attempts. How many do I get a day? 20, 30?
Oh, my gosh, right?
I just got one today, hey, you got to pay your traffic ticket. You got to do this thing. You got to go to, get on this, click here and get on. No, don't do it. Don't do it, folks. And if you have done that, that means your stuff is probably out there flapping in the wind.
Yep.
Don't have your stuff flapping in the wind. Delete Me. That's where to go. All right. Let's get to some of the great comments here today going on. Mike H was in first, so we have to read you first. Said the spread Buccaneers -2.5 started at 1.5. So the Sharpies, or at least the public, I guess I should say, loves the Buccaneers here. Over under 47.5. Given the two games we played last year, but I think both of these defenses are better.
Yeah,
defense is usually ahead of the offense, so I might hit the under on this. Parlay the Bucs in the under. Mike H.
I'm seeing like a 17-13 or 17-14 win for the Bucs.
I'll say it's closer to 24-21.
Okay,
24-21 Bucs. Mike H says, I knew Hassan Kim had his player option for next year for $16 million. What I didn't know was that the Rays could waive him and another team could claim him for $16 million for 2026. Well done, staff. Yes.
That's how it works.
That was a great move. That was a great move. Well done, Eric Neander. I don't know if that was at the behest of the new owners, but it certainly does them a solid to get out from under that contract. So thank you to the Atlanta Braves.
So I will say this, though.
Money.
I will say this. I know they had offers for him at the trade deadline. And I know they were hesitant to trade him because they weren't technically really out of it. And there was still a chance, that they were going to make a run here towards the end of the season. And they needed him for that. But, in retrospect, obviously now, how nice would it be to have gotten something in return for him, plus not having to pay that $16 million next year? or the $2 million or so that Atlanta's going to have to pay for the rest of the year for him,
Yeah, I think part of that was because Carson Williams was struggling at AAA the first half of the season and bad.
Sure.
And I think once he picked it up, I think they felt a little bit more comfortable with him as the future. And clearly now he is the future.
Yeah.
So, and then, Carson, he strikes out a lot. He's got a lot of ability. So they need to work on that at the major league level. And, you can have one hell of a left side of the infield for a long, long time to come. That's for damn sure. Mike H continues. Great for the Rays winning against the Mariners, who I thought and might still be World Series favorite from the American League. Yeah, Orestes loves the Mariners and did, but Rays put it on him last night. Tristan Gray with a couple of home runs, 10 runs. They're doing their thing. Randy,
the Mariners will never win a World Series ever.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, never.
That's a bold statement. Mike also asked, can you tell us about Orestes Estrada and his new show, what time, etc.? The original show is going to be on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to, I don't know if we're going to do it live or live to record, but I'm trying to get him to go live. But we may not do that for the first couple. But we're going to drop one Wednesday and Friday. And I can assure you this, it is going to be the best Rays / AL East centric / all of baseball podcast going, because
now it should be interesting. It should be interesting because he played for the Rays and the Yankees.
Played for the Marlins and the Yankees.
The Marlins and the Yankees, not the Rays.
And the Cebu Lions.
Broadcaster for the Rays, though.
Broadcaster, long-time broadcaster for the Rays.
He's got ties to a lot of, obviously AL East, but some other teams there on the East Coast I'm sure he's going to want to talk about.
He's got an unbelievable Rolodex as well. The guests that we're going to be able to get on the show, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, we're very excited to have Orestes become part of FanStream Sports Tampa Bay. And by the way, if you'd like to sponsor his podcast, we have limited availability because it's going to go fast. Because we're on a limited number of sponsors. So if you want to get involved on this, which is going to be the preeminent Rays AL East podcast, baseball podcast in the area, I highly recommend you getting in early. Just email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com, and we will get you taken care of because that's going to be one very, very popular show, I predict. Good morning to you, John Hill, Kenneth McClary. Good morning, gentlemen. Have a terrific Tuesday. Nathan Elliott is in. Good morning to all the Petermans, not the JP Peterson Show peeps, Nathan Elliott. Get it right. It's the Petermans.
I don't think Nathan has embraced the Petermans because he has
not. He's purposefully not embracing the Petermans.
Yeah.
Douglas Batista, good morning to you. Said UNC Bill Belichick debut game last night was unwatchable. Turned it off in the third and listened to your yesterday recorded podcast. Hope you like that. Couldn't believe Bill B brought in 70 new players. Yeah, did he get rid of so many? Is that what was the deal? Did he do the Dion thing? I'm bringing baggage and it's Gucci, except it ain't Gucci.
It's not Gucci.
Jordan's got Gucci, but you ain't got Gucci.
My God.
Devin Garnett, good morning. You said Norvell knew he had holes in the coaching staff after the 13-0 season, but didn't have the balls to make the changes. Last year was the wake-up call he needed. 1,000% agree with that. 1,000%. Yeah, and it's a huge difference. Malzahn and Tony White were just light years better than anything we've had for a long time. That's why I think this is different. It's not just a one-off. They beat Alabama, and it's not like they beat them with a couple of crazy turnovers or fluky plays. That was an ass whooping. It was a physical beatdown of Alabama. That shit travels, okay? And that you don't just lose that. Unless they just all go read their press clippings. Now they've got two, cupcakes coming up, East Texas State or whatever the hell that's called now, East Texas A&M and Kent State. And then they got Virginia, who I don't think is going to be very good. But so that's 4. And then they got Miami. So they could be undefeated heading into that October 10th showdown with the Hurricanes in Tallahassee.
By the way, East Texas A&M's just horrible.
Yeah. David Terry, the Knowles are back, baby. I believe you're right. Oh, it's too early. It's only one game. I know. Michael LaRue says Nostra Peterson strikes again. Belichick's debut was a disaster in front of the Tar Heel legends. Brady and Gronk have both said playing for him is a grind and not fun. That isn't going to work at UNC. You're right on, Michael. It's what I've been talking about. He's not a college guy. He's just not like he's the total antithesis of a college coach. No personality. I mean, his personnel decisions are not great.
How much do you think he has personally to do with the actual day-to-day coaching of his players? Like, he leaves that to the coordinators, right?
I don't know.
I can't imagine he is there, hands-on, coaching his guys.
I know he wasn't. I know he was in New England, though. He was very, very involved with everything. Like, he oversaw everything.
Yeah, I feel like he's mailing this in, though.
I do too. I think it's a money grab, and I think he's mailing it in and maybe trying to set it up for his son. But I never bought into any of this because it doesn't make any sense. He's the antithesis of all. He's not going to recruit. He's not going to kiss these kids' ass.
No.
He's not going to relate to them. It's just not. He's so not collegiate. and how was the supposed brain trust at UNC thought this was a good idea? I don't know. It's a joke.
And what's going to happen when towards the end of the season, kids, because these are kids he's coaching now, not men, are tired of his BS and want to hit the transfer portal, which they can do now.
Yeah. He's going to have a really hard time keeping talent. Joel Forslin says, Tommy Castanos reminds me of a transfer class that dominated in 2023. Does have a little flavor to that. And those guys showed up. Squirrel White showed up. Deuce Robinson showed up. Not a ton, but they were seen. Usman Kroma, the freshman running back, looked great. Sawchuk came in from Oklahoma with that 27-yard bullish touchdown run, carrying people into the end zone. That offensive line, the transfer offensive line, let's go. Snot was one off. We're winning the ACC, goddammit. James says, when the Noles went 13-0 in third game, they went to BC, and Tommy C single-handedly almost beat them. He ran, he threw, huge yardage. Norvell never forgot that either. True. I remember that game. We were on the ropes. Shouldn't have been. They had a big turnover right before half. Yeah. Devin Garnett says, I'm not buying the Bama is overhyped narrative when everyone was saying they're going to be great this year, predicted them to win the SEC. They lose to FSU, and now they're overhyped. Yeah, that's the ESPN hates FSU narrative.
I still think that they were overhyped. Number 8 was way too high for them with all of the questions they had on their team. Who's better? All the questions. I can give you my top 25 tomorrow if you want.
Listen, they had what don't they have? They have great depth in secondary. They have great offensive line. They have, the quarterback was new, but
right. The biggest question mark on your team is the most important position.
Yeah, but he was an elite recruit.
He hasn't played a game yet, just like Arch.
I know, but supposed to be great.
Supposed to be. So was I, JP. So was I.
James says, when you hire Freddie Kitchens as your OC, Belichick needs to hang it up. Well, at least he hired an OC, unlike one of those years it was one of the most arrogant things I've ever seen a coach do.
We don't need one.
I don't need an OC. I'm Bill Belichick. Yeah.
Idiot.
Mike Edge says, at the end of the day, Bill still has a 27-year-old chick. Actually, she's 24. And she evidently likes balloons. In case you missed that, show him.
I don't think I have it anymore. I think I deleted it.
Rick says Spike Dykes sounds like a bar in San Francisco. What's wrong with you, Rick?
That's the legendary Spike Dykes, Sonny's dad. May he rest in peace.
Cody says Bill Belichick needs Tom Brady to be successful. I think that's pretty apparent right now, don't you?
He just needs his youth back, I think is what he needs, dude. It happens, man.
Belichick?
You still think he's
going to be successful? He's not going to be. If Tom
Brady coached that team in Cleveland, would the Cleveland Browns have won anything?
If Tom Brady was the quarterback in Cleveland?
If he was the quarterback when Belichick coached the The Beavis
Browns?
and Belichick Cleveland Browns. By the way, that's still one of the greatest posters I have ever seen at an NFL game that they showed on TV when he was coaching in Cleveland. Somebody put one of the big bed sheets in the end zone with a picture of Beavis and Butthead, but the sign said Beavis and Belichick Browns. It was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
And correct.
Because they were
Ariel
right.
Christian says Rosarena is still well loved here in Tampa Bay, and what I saw on TV last night. Yeah, he is. Never forget that. Traded away and then had to buy tickets to come back and sit in Randyland to say goodbye to the fans. Wow. Douglas Batista said in the Topkin article on Friday, now there's a chatter the deal closing and formal approval may come together at the end of September or in early October. Deal closing delays are common, but this is Stu. Concerns? No, I don't have any concerns. MLB is driving this. And
as long as it happens by the end of the year, I mean, it's just not a big deal. It doesn't matter when it happens.
These delays are not unusual. They're very complicated transactions, and with Stu, I'm sure it's even worse. So yeah, I'm not concerned. But listen, still anything can happen, I guess. Who knows? Pat says, thanks, Scott. My mom passed just over a week ago. Now I'm triggered.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
Condolences, brother. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. Rick sends you prayers, partner.
Yep.
From all the Petermans here. To who will be at the 50th season documentary premiere? I think you heard Trent say it. So Brady's coming tonight. I think Brady and Gronk. Doug Williams and Jimmy Giles. Brad
JP.
Johnson's coming tonight. Who else?
JP Peterson.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Scott Reynolds.
Yeah, Scott's not going to make it. Joel Forsland says, if we play soft zone coverage again, Penix will throw for 400. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that. Thank God.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Thank God.
By the way, Penix, we didn't talk a lot about Penix.
Mm-hmm.
He still should be considered a rookie.
Right.
I mean, he's appeared in 5 games. He started 3. He's barely thrown 100 passes in the NFL. I know he runs a lot. He's thrown 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Okay, so let's not make him out to be the next coming of Tom Brady. So let's just treat him like a rookie, attack him, as I know the defense will, the Bucs defense will, and everything should be fine as long as they don't freaking start Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that would be a surprise. But you know, and Bucs fans don't need me telling you this, but we've seen rookie quarterbacks have their way against Todd Bowles' defense. I think Todd Bowles plays it very conservative when he gets a rookie. Like, I'm not going to give him any cheapies like deep, so I'll play soft and conservative and let him make a mistake. But Bo Nix turned that on its head last year. They tried that crap, and he just said, well, I'll just take the 7 all day long. 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. Take it all day long. And they just marched right down the field, kept the Bucs offense off the field. And of course they had that good defense and they whipped our ass.
Yeah.
And you can't, I think Bowles goes conservative instead of, and I think he changed a little bit towards the end of the season. And this will be a great litmus test to see if this is going to be same old Bowles playing soft or he's going to get after it. And I hope he gets after it. And if you give up a couple cheapies, so what? We need turnovers. We need pressure. We just can't play soft. I freaking hate that. Oh, drives me nuts.
I still don't understand that last season. I still don't get it because Bowles said near the end of the year, I don't know why they're doing that. I keep telling them not to. Well, you're the freaking defensive coordinator. Put a stop to it then. What the hell? What are we doing?
Because I get, to Scott's point, it's like, then what am I going to do? Put Josh Hayes in?
I know.
Or Funderburk? No. So their hands were tied, I guess. Rick says somewhere in New York, Stu was wrapping up on his late night infomercial selling the benefits of buying trop water and protecting the history of that iconic stadium. First 50 callers get a skateboard. Yeah, we joked about that years when we got word that the dugouts were filled with water. He'll probably bottle that up and sell it like he did the roof sheets. Gross. Crazy, isn't it? You can't make this stuff up.
It's what my coffee tasted like this morning.
In 10 years, we'd be saying, we had an owner that was so cheap. How cheap was he? This guy was so cheap, he went around and picked up the panels that were blown off the roof in a hurricane and sold them back to the fans. Not a joke. Not a
You're
joke.
going to be like, no, that didn't happen.
It happened. Joel Forsland says the Bucs aren't a very sexy team. That's why even when Brady was here, we were the afterthought when it came to predictions. Well, we got sexy when Brady was here. Everybody loved us. We were on Get Up every morning. Everybody. But to your point, it was Brady. It wasn't the Bucs.
Yep.
And it didn't stick when he left. And I'm okay with that.
I guarantee you half the country couldn't name another Bucs player on that roster for 3 years than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
People in the South down here, Mike Evans, of course, but
yeah.
I
So
guarantee
Joel says Mike Evans is a big sports market, is a huge superstar for the NFL. I don't believe that. I would disagree with you, Joel. I think outside of Tampa, not many people know who Mike Evans is. You see all these top 10 receiver lists. Mike Evans never makes that, ever. We talked about that last year. Nathan Elliott says the Dungy versus fan story was pretty cool and offers a unique look at the situation. I'm a fan, and I like what was said about Dungy's firing. I always looked at it as F Dungy. I see differently now. It was, obviously I was covering the team during that time, and there was a lot of fans that were fed up with Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
It was, everybody, they didn't like the demeanor, that he wasn't a fiery guy. They thought he was very passive. They didn't like his offense because it was very vanilla, to which Tony famously said, I like vanilla.
Do you know what it sounds like you're describing right now? It sounds like you are describing Jason Garrett with the Dallas Cowboys and the way the fans quickly turned on him. The only difference is Garrett played for the Cowboys and was a pretty decent backup quarterback for a number of years. But, dude, this fan base, when he couldn't get over the hill, dude, the fan base turned on him so fast as a coach. And it was for the reasons you just outlined with Dungy. Vanilla offense. He wasn't a fired up guy. We called him Coach Clap because every time something bad would happen, as his players are running off the field, he's just clapping as they walk past him like, let's go, let's go. It's just a bad look. But that's exactly what it sounded like here with the Cowboys and Jason Garrett.
Yeah, it was like we loved Tony and we credit him. It's always Gruden won with Tony's team, which it's not that simple. They both had a tremendous contribution to winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he was beloved, and then he was tolerated, and then towards the end, a lot of fans were like, "Yeah, this isn't good enough. We just keep losing in Philadelphia, and we can't score points." And it was a bit of a bit of a blind spot for Tony in terms of the offense. And when he went to Indianapolis, that was all taken away with Peyton Manning. It was a perfect marriage. The offense was already fixed. It was like Gruden for Tampa. The defense was already good. Don't touch it. Monty, do his thing. I just have to get a little spark going on this offense, and we can win this thing. So it's very similar. But when Tony's fired and the way it was handled, it was kind of, and it's not like the Glazers wanted it to play out that way. It just, they let him go. They let him know when he got back from Philadelphia that they were letting him go. And instead of coming back, the next day to get his stuff, he said, no, I'm good. And he grabbed a couple of moving boxes and started packing stuff up in the middle of the night in the rain. And all the TV stations where we're all there. And it was just a really sad situation that, and it looked bad. It looked like, we're firing this guy in the middle of the night and having him, get out of his office in the rain. Well, it's not quite the way they wanted it to go down, but that's the way it happened. And in the NFL, I've learned this. It never ends well. For the most beloved players, even, it never ends well, like you hope it will. Mario Christian said, I'll never forget the story in which Philly fans had their hotels reserved and their bags packed for San Diego, but the Eagles never made it to that big game. That's right. Those guaranteed hotel rooms, not so good. And Mark Severance, good morning to you. Haven't seen you in here. Said, let's not forget the greatest Super Bowl parade ever was the boat parade in Tampa. Oh, yes, that'll be a big part of the documentary for sure. The throw of the Lombardi.
At least we know now that it floats.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about. Sorry if we missed you. We'll end on this from Thomas Casper. Stu is currently auditing the sweet and low packets. That's why it's taken so many times. Yeah, probably. All right. Thanks you guys for watching again today. Please like and subscribe. If you love what we're doing here as independent media, please support our efforts with that little QR code down in the left-hand side, or super chats if you'd like to donate to the cause of independent media. Thank you guys so much for all you do and watching. Please spread the news on the show. I'll be at the preview tonight. Check out our social media, and then we'll have more fun and frivolity for you tomorrow. Maybe we'll get Brad Johnson on the show. I'll see him tonight. We'll rally him in for tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
See you.